can tell you the tale of how it all started and where we are at today. So good evening and welcome to Ripon. My name is Gunnar and I am your hornblower for this evening. Don't feel too sorry for me, I'm not here every single night. There are actually 4 of us that carry out this duty, although at the moment there's sort of 3.5. So, the ceremony you've just witnessed is what is known as the setting of the watch, and it dates back to 886, making it 1140 years old. It is said we hold the world record for the longest standing, still carried out, never missed a beat tradition. I'm hazarding a guess really that's UK based because I think the Tibetan monks might have something to say about that. But it's Ripon's tradition, we're very proud of it, and we never miss a beat. Whatever the weather, we are stood here. The story may be told in that alleyway over there if the lady hornblower's on, but I tend to keep you here and get you wet if it's wet raining, so better get the night that she's on. So, 886, King Alfred the Great is touring the nation to thank the nation for all its assistance with the Viking problem, the Viking invasion. At this stage, he had just retaken London, so he decided to leave that to old Ethelred, who was never next in line, to get on and refortify. And he felt a bit cock-a-hoop and decided to come up here into Danelaw, which was a very sort of dodgy area for a Saxon king to come smack in the middle of the enemy territory. Luckily enough, just down the road was the king of the Vikings, who had now recently come across to Christianity, and as had his chaps and chapesses, so they weren't slaughtering everybody, they were more Christian, farming and merchanting and doing nice things. But there were still some nasty ones over there in Scandinavia that wanted to come over here and steal everything we thought was valuable, our silver, our gold, our children, our pets, our chickens, our ladies. So we had to stay aware and stay on the ball, so we needed somebody on watch. So he came up here to the north, as I say, to Danelaw, found our lovely little settlement based around the monastery, and decided that we were so great that he was going to bestow upon us a royal charter. He was happy with his B&B, he was happy with his fresh horses the following morning. So he hadn't come prepared, as I say, he was wandering the nation. So he took a horn off one of his soldiers and presented it to the *1 citizen and said, "This is the symbol of the royal charter. Go forth and run your beautiful little perfect settlement called Ripon." Unlike Harrogate, it wasn't even invented at those days. And I'm off back down south to get on with running the country. So the *1 citizen decided, well, I'm not going to put it in a cupboard and get it out once a year. I'm going to put it to good use. So he created the job of the waitman. And the waitman was basically a night watchman, and he would tour the settlement and in his stag, in his evening, from about 10 o'clock through till about 3 in the morning. But to set off his watch at 10 o'clock, he would go to each corner of the settlement and blow a blast on his horn to tell them that basically the curfew was set, don't come out, because me and the big lads will knock you on the head and put you in the pokey and have some money off you. So we now simulate this by going round the obelisk. Back 100 years ago, it was done each corner of the market square, but I'd still be wandering around now with my limp, and you'd be back in the pub, and I'd be here on my own. So we decided that we'd do it, simulating it around the obelisk. If you come here on the 1st of August, all 4 of us will be here. It is Yorkshire Day, our proudest day, and every single hornblower will be on parade, and we all take a corner, and then Wayne, our senior hornblower, will give the story at the end. He tells a far more interesting story than me. He's been doing it long. So, the waitman, the royal charter. A royal charter gives you extra powers as a settlement. It makes you more important, and as I say, than the little place down the road that's not a city called Harrogate. They have a spa, so do we. But, anybody from Harrogate, by the way? In case I'm upsetting the natives. There's more to come. So, you get to start your own, to make your own powers, to make your own laws, to create your own taxes. So we thought the Georgians had done it with their window tax, or Margaret Thatcher with her council tax, but no, it was the waitman of Ripon. He started all this nasty tax business off by creating a door tax. And if it was seen that you had a house on the outside of the settlement facing the enemy, so you would have been the first one to be set light and robbed, then you only had to pay a shilling, or whatever the currency was back then, probably a shekel or something, or a goat. But if you were seen as having the luxury of the inside, the safe side, then you were seen as being quite well off, so you could afford to pay 4 shillings. So what do the rich do to stay rich? They find loopholes, and so they did back then as well. And this is a good, lovely northern word that works for the red rose or the white rose. It's a good northern thing. They created gills down the side of their houses and sealed off their front doors, making them peasants, and they only had to pay a shilling. So they saved themselves 3 shillings a year by doing it. He was a very religious man, and he didn't like the drunk and disorderly, so he wasn't much in the way of alcohol knocking around. Although we had our bars and things, if you were caught drunk and disorderly, then he would come down on you with a ton of bricks. So the chaps with the big sticks with the hornblower, as I say, would arrest you, lock you up, and fine you the following morning. This is all raising money to pay for the waitmen and the big lads. The hornblower comes in a minute. So years went on, and then the waitman became the all-powerful. He became the #1 citizen, the top man of the settlement. So he was far too important to be walking around at midnight with a horn. So he created the job of the hornblower, and that's where we came in. But the tradition is 1140 years old. We're just slightly a few years younger. So it is said he ruled Ripon with a rod of iron, as I said earlier. This went on for many, many a year, until about 1604, when we had James I of England, 6th of Scotland, pay us a visit. And he came on the bequest, we think, of one of the local landowners, whether it be them Ripley's down at the castle, or the Comptons, which would have been the Robinsons at Newby Hall. They were sick and tired of this little man who believed in God and didn't like alcohol, telling them that what they could and couldn't do, and fining them for coming out the unicorn drunk. So he asked James to come up and sort it out. So he came up and he created basically a democracy. He took the autocratic waitman and created a democratic mayor. And his name was, the last waitman was called Mr. Hugh Ripley, and he was also the first mayor. And so were his family many years after that, I'm sure. So not a lot really changed apart from the title. He had a few more ties, he couldn't do so many things. The big chaps with the sticks got a uniform, and they were called the police force. And the good old hornblower, he just cracked on with his job. He was the hornblower, and he got out at 10 o'clock and he finished at 3, 4 the next morning. So this went on, as I say, until we sort of got into the sort of ceremonial times. As I say, in 1815 was the last time I think we had a chance of somebody. The Germans tried it, but that wasn't going to happen, was it? But the 1815, the French had a go. We saw them off. So it became a bit of a ceremonial role, as I say. It just became a simulation, and we did it around the marketplace and then the obelisk. The next sort of change we had would have been about 1902, 1904, when the peasants coming in from Harrogate to see our fine city on the train, and you got to Beecham for ridding us of a train, which would have been very useful today. But you get the 36 bus now for £3, or maybe it's £2 today. Raid the 36, £2 they go all the way from Leeds. So, and they wake you up at the end if you're drunk, I can assure you I've heard. So, they come in on the train, and their train would go back at 9:30, with the hornblower blew at 10. So they'd either miss their train or miss their hornblower. I'm going to assume they jumped on that train and went back home. But the powers that be, the chaps in the city hall behind you, the mayor and the councillors, decided, well, let's chase that tourist pound in Harrogate, let's change the time to 9 o'clock. As easy as that. There's traditions made for you. So for the last 100 odd years, it's been 9 o'clock. But there's one extra thing, and we have a special guest tonight with us, I have noticed, within the audience. The mayor is actually present among you. Look round, who do you think it is? Anyway, if you remember I mentioned that chap, Mr. Hugh Ripley, the last waitman, the first mayor. He lived in that little house over there, by the way, the little house in the corner, which is what I actually saluted. Wasn't you, madam? I would have. So, Mr. Hugh Ripley, the last waitman, the first mayor, he wasn't very happy the fact that the hornblower just cracked on and didn't really have much of a job change. So he said, I don't trust you, Mr. Hornblower, to blow the horn, so you need to come and find me wherever I am within the settlement. Now, if the mayor is at a gig in the cathedral, and I heard the bells ringing earlier on, I thought he might be in there, then we'd have to go and march into the back of the cathedral, stand there at the back, wait to be nodded at, march forward, the mayor will make himself known, doff our cap, ask permission basically, and blow a further 3 blasts to tell him that we have set the watch. If the mayor is on holiday and he's not at home, he's not within the settlement, then we go over to the steps across the road there, and we do it underneath that lamp. But tonight, for you, special treat, he's here. So I'm going to do it here. So, Mr. Mayor, if you can make yourself known, please, sir.
Speech.
Mr. Mayor, sir, with your permission. Sir, the watch is set.
Thanks, Gunnar. You can probably tell I haven't been on duty this evening, so I'm casually dressed. Can I just take the opportunity of thanking you all for coming here this evening and witnessing the ancient ceremony of setting the watch, which, as you've heard, dates back to 886. Ripon is England's second smallest city, but we aim to give you one of the biggest welcomes that you'll get anywhere you go. We're delighted that, that you're visiting the city this evening in what we view to be the jewel in the crown of God's own county of North Yorkshire. And we will be celebrating that event next Saturday, and you'll see that the city has become bedecked with Yorkshire flags yesterday to mark the fact that it's Yorkshire Day next week. But seriously, whether you've come from around the block or around inside the globe, you're very welcome. We hope you enjoy your time here in the city, and that you'll go back and tell your friends and family what a great place Ripon is, what a beautiful place North Yorkshire is, and that they should come and visit also, and we will aim to give them the same welcome that we're giving you this evening. Just out of interest, where our visitors are coming from this summer, and we have literally ticked off, I think, probably 2/3 of the countries across the globe in recent weeks. Can I just ask where people have travelled from this evening, starting and running around? Don't feel obligated to say if you don't want to. We are in London, very warm welcome to you, sir. Quarry Road, just around the block. One of my constituents, a very warm welcome to you. Hello, evening. Richmond, not too far, unless it's Richmond.
North Yorkshire.
Oh, that's much better than Richmond, than the other one. So, Leeds, Sheffield, good, strong Yorkshire contingent in this evening so far. Peak District, welcome to you. I think we've got 2 Riponians, haven't we? Yeah, indeed. Sorry? Newark, Nottinghamshire, New Zealand. Winning the distance so far. We've had a lot of visitors from New Zealand this summer. New Zealand, our tourist marketing in New Zealand is really sorry, I missed that. Newcastle, a warm welcome to you, Surrey. Warm welcome to you also. Durham, did someone say? Warm welcome to you. Sorry? Amsterdam from Holland. A very warm welcome to you. Oh, yeah, we have a Dutch contingent this evening.
Born in Ripon.
Yeah, sorry?
Catterick, born in Ripon.
You were born in Ripon. Well, welcome home, sir. Anybody else? I think New Zealand wins it this evening. But as I say, wherever you've come from, enjoy your evening. Delighted to see you all, and have a great evening. Many thanks.
There they are. He doesn't speak as loud as you.
So thank you very much for coming. Please feel free to ask any questions. That's pretty much how we are. And I'm a modernist, so if you want to do a selfie, feel free. I'm not in any rush to go anywhere. Thank you very much.
Tell us about your horn.
About the horn. You want to know about the horn? This horn here is the what I like to call the QE2 or the Jubilee horn. This is the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee horn, going back to 2022. It's the newest of the horns, and it's given to the new boy. Now, 3 years ago I was the new boy, but I've held on to it because I have a very close affiliation with our late Queen, as I was one of her household coverers for 23 years. So they fight me for it.
It has a lovely sound. That could be the blower.
It could be. You could have a point. If you'd have come a year or ago, you'd have disagreed with that one. I actually had a couple of occasions. I had the first one was a couple of Danish ladies. So I used to come round the corner, do the last squeak, and apologised straight away for the horrible noise, promising that if people came back in a year, I'd have properly got hold of it and nipped it. Anyway, at the end, they turned around and said, Gunnar, excuse the accent, by the way, it's a very poor version of a Danish accent. Gunnar, we are from Denmark. We are Vikings. It sent a chill right up our spine. You're supposed to do that. So I took that as a bonus. And then some Americans came from New Orleans, and they were in their tracksuit, all in the same, young lads in tracksuits. And I said, I do apologise for the noise. They went, no, that's all right, took pictures of me and everything. Great job, and off they went. A year later, I'm sort of doing a similar about a year later. It must be something to do with one of the local school swaps, maybe the grammar or something. Same three lads, but I didn't click to them. We weren't wearing tracksuits tonight. And they come up to me at the end and went, you were right, Gunnar. You said you'd be sorted in a year. And they got their phone out, played back the howl that I used to do. So yeah, so it's...
Well done.
I am no musician.
Tell us about...
Right, the chap...
Tell my friends, I've heard it.